wetlands sustain thousands of species and offer essential benefits for life on the planet. These often little-known reservoirs of water and biodiversity are our most precious jewels. However, in recent times, many are disappearing, and with them, their ecosystem. Over the last 50 years, half of the planet's wetlands have been destroyed. In the Balearic Islands, at least 30 wetlands have been lost, and more than 100 are highly degraded. A clear example is Maristany and Estany des Ponts in the north of Mallorca, the last vestiges of a great coastal lagoon that used to occupy the entire Bay of Alcudia. Massive construction began in the 1960s, radically transforming a natural environment of exceptional ecological value into a high-intensity tourist area. A large part of the wetland was filled in with ash from the former coal-fired power plant. Since then, the area has been fragmented by the construction of roads, uncontrolled dumping, and colonized by invasive flora and fauna. The fact of being abandoned has contributed to its environmental degradation. Since 2020, WWF, in collaboration with the Alcudia Town Council and with the financial support of the Mava Foundation, has been carrying out a comprehensive project to restore these degraded environments in order to reverse their situation and enhance their value. Several workshops with a participatory approach were organized, inviting all the stakeholders. Together, they decided which use model they wanted for the space and how the challenge of its restoration would be carried out. As a result, they have planned different initiatives to be carried out to return these spaces to nature. Soil samples have been taken, especially if the ashes used to fill the wetlands, to ensure that they were not toxic, as the restoration will involve their removal to regenerate flood zones. Students of Alcudia secondary schools and experts from the University of the Balearic Islands regularly monitor the temperature and salinity of the water in different areas to better understand the dynamics of water flows and their effects, as well as the regeneration of water resources in the area. In fact, these transitional water reservoirs form a crucial part in the filtration of water into the underground aquifers, so important for the water security of any Mediterranean island. recent years, various actions have been implemented to eradicate invasive flora. Some species have grown freely, emerging from the gardens of houses and hotels, or from pruning waste dumped on the banks of the wetland area. They're generally very adaptable, fast-growing and fast-spreading plants. These apparently harmless ornamental species have expanded uncontrollably, colonizing spaces and preventing the development of native species, which are most productive and beneficial to their environment. It is vitally important to carefully remove the seeds and pull out the roots thoroughly to prevent them from regenerating again. Volunteers and pupils from local high schools have been involved on several occasions. While they themselves help with the removal work, they also learn about the problems caused by the proliferation of invasive alien species. The high schools and schools of Alcudia are the target of the environmental education actions undertaken by the project, considering that the restoration can only be long-lasting if it has the support of the local population. On-site teaching is vital to raise awareness of new generations about the importance of preserving these ecosystems for the benefit of the planet, while also learning various ways to contribute and become personally involved. The implementation of volunteering activities involving different groups in the collection of non-degradable waste encourages greater social awareness of the problems generated by excessive consumption of plastic. Professionals have been involved in the removal of the most problematic waste. These areas have been neglected and ignored for many years, to the point of literally becoming a dumping ground. Removal of debris items has probably been the most difficult challenge so far. With hundreds of tires accumulated over decades, in many cases, bushes have had to be pruned to gain access to them. "28 tons of tires, 4 tons of plastics, and 7 tons of plant debris from up to 9 invasive species have been removed to date. Nature has a great capacity for regeneration. After recovering its space, the local vegetation and fauna will regain the original beauty. In these transitional sites, which are subject to intense variations in temperature and salinity, a surprising underwater biodiversity has also been discovered. Researchers at the University of the Balearic Islands have identified the presence of a complex web of biological relationships. In the shallower waters, exceptional meadows of the Phanerogum cyanodosa proliferate with unusually large stems. These lagoons are a real nursery for fry of many fish species. In the areas of greatest sea interchange, the bottom is lined with large expanses of the seaweed Caloba prolifera, and among them, the communities of tiny polyps and spirograph worms that form astonishing calcareous structures. The omnipresent remains of the scattered bivalves warn of the richness hidden in these sedimentary seabeds. These shallow, calm lagoons are a veritable treasure chest of biodiversity, which we have a duty to preserve no matter what for future generations. The restoration of the ecological corridor of the Bay of Alcudia has been an initiative of the whole of society, who will benefit from the essential environmental services provided by the wetlands, both for humans and for wildlife. All the actions already undertaken, together with those to come in the future, will help to restore these wetlands to their natural beauty.